Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras, here with ILTV's morning briefing. This morning, a Palestinian man pulled out a pistol and opened fire on a group of Israeli border cops at a checkpoint in the West Bank, just south of Jerusalem. No officers have been reported injured at this time. The suspect was captured after police gave chase, and he was arrested shortly thereafter. This incident mirrors a similar event earlier last week, when Palestinian suspects allegedly opened fire on an Israeli car driving throughout the West Bank. The Shin Bet has just announced that they've actually arrested 2 suspects believed to be behind the terror attempt, though. Israeli security teams tracked them down to a Ramallah suburb, and during questioning, the suspects apparently, quote, implicated themselves in the incident. Though tensions between Israel and the Palestinians have somewhat calmed following the bloody climax of the Hamas-sponsored March of Return rallies in Gaza, we're seeing more and more of that unrest now in the West Bank. Security teams are still dealing with arson attempts along the Gaza border, however. Palestinians have increasingly begun flying homemade firebombs over the border using homemade kites. Combine that with the country's dry summer heat, and what you have is a very deadly scenario for brush fires. The Palestinians have just ramped up their bid for official recognition of the state of Palestine in a major way. They've just been cordially accepted to 2 United Nations agencies, as well as the world's foremost chemical watchdog agency, the Chemical Weapons Convention. Israel has long campaigned against memberships like these, and the United States may even cut its funding to the UN to punish those agencies that gave the go-ahead. U.S. law already includes a precedent for this. American policy has typically stated that membership to the Palestinians in international organizations is counterproductive to the peace process, and in some cases premature. Still, this is a major win for the Palestinians in their effort to be seen by the world as their very own independent state. In the past, the Palestinian Authority has held only observer status in the United Nations, and this new membership allows them to vote on matters in 2 major agencies, the UN's Trade Development Organization and the Industrial Development Agency. But the biggest gain for the Palestinians is probably membership in the Chemical Weapons Convention. This is the world's foremost group that aims to halt the development of nuclear weapons. Nations who sign this treaty are forbidden from stockpiling weapons of mass destruction. Interestingly, Israel is one of only 4 countries, however, that has not ratified this agreement, along with Egypt, South Sudan, and North Korea. The Israeli Knesset has approved an initiative to officially discuss recognizing the Armenian genocide. Recognition of the genocide is described as a moral and historic obligation by Meretz MK Tamar Zandberg, who introduced the motion. And while the motion was approved for debate in a vote of 16-0, it appears not everyone's motives are apolitical. It's largely accepted in most private sectors that the Ottoman government, which is today Turkey, exterminated 1.5 million Armenians in 1915. 29 countries and 48 United States as of 2018 have recognized the genocide officially. But Turkey still vehemently argues against the use of the term genocide for these crimes. The Turkish government has even historically tried to squash mention of the genocide, periodically having cut ties or making threatening gestures worldwide when mention is made. That's why, given the current climate between Jerusalem and Istanbul, suspicions have arisen that some Israeli officials view recognition of the genocide as an appropriate response to Turkish aggression. But whatever the reason, it's looking more and more as though the recognition will go through. Knesset Speaker Yuli Edelstein said, "It's the right thing to do as a people and as Jews." Lava from the continuously erupting Hawaiian volcano Kilauea is now threatening more than just physical damage to the immediate area. Molten rock is now flowing straight towards the Puna geothermal power plant, which supplies around a quarter of the electricity for the big island on which it's located. In fact, the lava has already reportedly destroyed a disused warehouse and is now within just 200 meters of one of the plant's well pads. Staff at the Israeli-owned Puna geothermal venture plant shut down the rest of the facility to prevent an uncontrollable release of toxic gases. They've also reportedly physically covered the geothermal wells and have removed flammable materials from the area. The 19-day-long eruption is showing no signs of slowing, and people living in the area are advised to seek shelter and stay indoors, away from the shores. Ash fallout, lays or toxic lava haze, and other dangers associated with the explosive event are some of the most dangerous experts have seen in a long time. The United States Congress has now advanced a bipartisan bill that would define anti-Semitism in the United States public school system. The Anti-Semitism Awareness Act would have the Department of Education adopt the standard definition of anti-Semitism that was developed by the U.S. State Department in 2010. The idea is that with a clear and official definition, schools would be better equipped to address anti-Semitic speech and behaviors, a problem that has reportedly been on the rise. Under the new working definition, anti-Semitism will now include, among other things, defamation, double standard, and demonization, as well as calling for the death to Jews, making reference to Jewish conspiracies regarding world domination, denying the scope or facts of the Holocaust, and holding Jews collectively responsible for actions taken by the State of Israel. That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.